Right, I'm going to be a full-on hater today. I'm not even going to disguise it. I'm in full hater mode, but the laptop mafia needs to be stopped. As I've mentioned before in other videos, I don't drink alcohol, so one of my favourite places to socialise and relax are coffee shops, especially because in Nottingham we have so many amazing independent coffee shops. And this is a problem everywhere because I've lived in London. This is really common in London, but I don't know whether because, I don't know, Nottingham seems smaller, but I'm just noticing it more here. And I'm so freaking tired of the laptop mafia hogging all the tables in these cafes. And you know what's even more cheeky? They're freaking bucking up to and harassing local businesses because they're standing up to them and they don't want their bloody laptops in their stores. So many times, it even happened this past week. I took a little video which I'll post in the set. I went there in the evening. I went at 5 p.m. Black Sheep Coffee has just opened here in Nottingham. I know they're all over London, but this is the first one here in Nottingham. So I'm currently in Black Sheep Coffee, and there's about 20 tables that are taken up by laptops at the moment, and it's just about to go 5 p.m. 20 of them at 5 p.m. were taken up by the laptop mafia. Not just that, most of them had empty drinks, so you can see they probably drunk that coffee about 6 hours ago. Not just that, why do they always take? They take the tables that have like 4 seats or 6 seats, and then the tables that were left unattended are the ones that only have 2. Why do you need a 4-seater table when it's just you and your bloody laptop that you're pretending to work on? Very off-putting for me. I actually find myself, I will avoid businesses around here that I know have a lot of laptop users. There are certain cafes which are really worse than others for it, and especially the ones that don't have the laptop policies. I will just completely avoid them because I know, especially if I'm meeting a friend, it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to get a table or a seat for us, and I just don't want to pay towards a business that's going to encourage that sort of behaviour. One of my favourite local coffee shops, Dispatch, did a post on their Instagram about their laptop policy, and this just shows the entitlement and the braziness of these laptop mafia users. And again, if you're not part of the laptop mafia, I'm not talking about you. You don't need to get offended. I'm talking about a very specific type of laptop user. Laptop policy is really generous. So they allow laptops Monday to Friday. There's no time limit. You get free Wi-Fi, multiple sockets, and it's 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. What more do you want? They've banned laptops only on weekends, which of course is going to be a busier time when you get people that actually want to sit in and socialise. The bloody cheek. And then these laptop mafia have been review bombing this business, and also other cafes have commented on this post saying, oh, we've had the same issue, people leaving bad reviews because we don't allow laptops on weekends. That is completely insane to me. Why do you even want a laptop on a weekend? What are you working on that needs to be done on a weekend and that you can't do at home? It's so unreasonable. You really think that these cafes and coffee shops are going to pick you, someone who's going to have the table for 10 hours, maybe get one coffee and then just order tap water, or they're going to pick multiple customers that are going to come in and be ordering coffees and cakes and multiple drinks? It's so selfish. It's so entitled.
Nah, wait. I just watched an influencer lose it over at NYC Cafe for not letting her sit there all day with a laptop. I was actually stunned. She says she got kicked out of Cafe Habibi in Soho, but then admits she'd already been there almost 3 hours. The place is tiny, like 15 seats. And she even says it was packed the whole time with new people coming in every 15 minutes. A worker finally tells her laptops aren't allowed on weekends, and she says that completely defeated the purpose of her being there, so she leaves. But here's what got me. That cafe already let her take up a table for almost a third of their operating day and only asked her to go so they could turn the table over. Instead of just leaving, she tags the cafe, throws the staff under the bus, and starts calling their food nasty and overpriced, complaining about a $25 iced coffee and a Danish. Then she defends herself saying she was just looking for a place to work. Newsflash, That's what the New York Public Library is for, not a 15-seat Muslim woman-owned cafe trying to survive. If you're mad a cafe won't let you camp there all day with a laptop, that's not oppression, that's just business.
I cannot believe how they go through the world and expect everybody to bend to their will. Even when catching up with friends in a coffee shop, sometimes, especially if it's a friend I haven't seen in a while, I have done like 2-3 hour sessions there. But again, even though I'm not on my laptop, after an hour I go and buy another drink or I buy another snack. Because even if I'm just there chatting, talking to my friend, I would feel bad taking up the table for more than an hour if I wasn't purchasing something. Even if the shop isn't busy, I would just make sure I would get a second coffee or a cake or something like that to justify taking up the space. And I could never, I could never have the audacity that these laptop users have. And usually with the discussions on this channel, I do both sides of the argument and try to have a more balanced view, but I can't be reasoned with on this. I'm being stubborn today. For me, as a dog owner, me review bombing or getting pissed off at a shop because they don't allow dogs, which a lot of shops don't allow dogs. Some are dog friendly, some are not. So I don't understand this entitlement. Working on your laptop in a coffee shop is not a right. It's not a human right. It is not a right. It's a privilege. It's not even like these businesses are saying no laptops at all, which I think is totally valid. They're literally just saying for 2 days a week, which is their most busy days when they're going to make the most money. Hospitality business is struggling as it is, so they need as much money as they can get. Please don't bring your laptop. And you're bullying people and leaving fake reviews and bad reviews and kicking off because of that. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it's bum behaviour. It's absolute bum behaviour that you're going to take up a table, buy one coffee and then expect to be allowed to sit there the whole day. It's bum behaviour. A lot of these laptop workers, laptop mafia, are the ones that have those job titles like super executive, regional lead. It's those people when you ask them what their job is and they can't tell you in plain English because they get paid to basically do nothing and look busy. Those are the sorts of people I feel are behaving this way. And it's bum behaviour because they're not short on money. So why, if you're going to take up the table, at least order something every hour that isn't tap water, or at least every 2 hours at a stretch. But I think every hour is more reasonable, especially at peak times.
You know those people in the cafes with their laptop out and they're just there typing? You know, sometimes I'm like, yo, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, I don't even think these men are actually doing work. I just generally think they're doing it to be cool.
What I don't understand, if there's any mafia members watching this, maybe you can tell me, what's wrong with the library or what's wrong with the co-working spaces? Especially here in Nottingham, in the city centre, there's a really gorgeous library. It's the most beautiful library I've ever seen. It looks like a huge modern glass building and inside is really high tech. There's loads of different areas. It's not like a little tiny local library. It's a really big, gorgeous library that's free to use and it'd be nice and quiet, peaceful. So I don't understand why can't they use a library. Or there's quite a few co-working spaces here and they're affordable. I've seen some that are like £8 a day, £12 a day. That's going to be the price of a couple of coffees anyway. So I don't understand why they're not utilising these co-working spaces. Why are they bullying these poor independent coffee shops? Mentioned before, I find it extremely off-putting as a customer seeing places completely chock full of laptop workers. So I really do think businesses need to address this seriously and be stricter. I'm saying be stricter with your policies. Don't be doing this 8:30 to 8 p.m. Do like 8:30 to 12 p.m. because that's probably the quiet period anyway, because most people mostly get coffee on their lunch break or after work. I would be even stricter with it. I mean, if I had my way, I'd be saying no laptops at all. I do understand why they don't want to do that because I feel like the way these people behave, it would be an absolute riot. But I encourage these businesses to stand up to them and get even stricter. Because us regular people, when we see those reviews, we're not going to pay any attention to it because we know they're being unreasonable and we don't want their bloody laptops in there anyway. Another way around this, I think, that makes both sides happy, so laptop haters like me and laptop users, is my local Costa got revamped and they have a couple of booths that are dedicated working spaces. So you're allowed to sit there and work on your laptop, but you're not allowed to do it at any other tables. And it's only like 2 tables. I think that's a really great way to work around that. And then also a really small coffee shop I went to in the city centre had these 2 little booths, and it said you could hire it by the hour. I think it was £5 or £6, so that's about the cost of a coffee anyway, but you can hire the table by the hour, so that way if you don't want to keep buying drinks every hour, you're still paying towards the coffee shop, and it's a mutual agreement. It works well for both of you. I think that's a really great workaround. Personally, if I was a cafe owner, a coffee shop owner, I'd be an evil one. I would put the co-working tables like by the toilets. It is a very first world problem I'm complaining about here, but I was just so irked the other day when I went to Black Sheep Coffee. I was like, I need to make a video on this because I'm miffed off. Something else that I don't understand about this situation is my personal experience of Wi-Fi in these coffee shops is awful. So sometimes when I connect my phone to the Wi-Fi, you can't even Google stuff. It's so slow. So I'm like, how are they working in there all day? Unless they're doing offline work, because the Wi-Fi doesn't even seem strong enough to work on, especially to have like Zoom calls. So I'm really curious, where are they getting their Wi-Fi from? A lot of the time, I will just turn my Wi-Fi off my phone and have my 5G on when I'm in coffee shops because the signal is that bad. Additionally, I think it is very evil and mean-spirited that they target small businesses. A lot of people, a lot of the laptop mafia, they go in places like Costa, Starbucks. That's fine. A huge business like that probably can absorb the cost, and they tend to have bigger premises, more tables, so it's not as much of a problem to find a table. But when they go to these smaller independent coffee shops, like Dispatch does not have many tables in there, and it's quite a small compact space. I'm like, how are you going to these poor businesses that already, you know, are struggling more than the big ones and may make less money, and you're trying to take up their space for free? This is the entitlement I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I am disgusted by this. Riddle me this for a second. Can you imagine going into a restaurant, you order your meal, you pay for it, you're there for an hour, you're eating. Most people, after you've paid your bill, you leave. Can you imagine going to a restaurant, let's just say with your laptop, and there's a table for 4, it's a busy restaurant, table for 4, and you're one person, you take the table for 4, you order your meal, you eat it, you stay there an hour, pay the bill, and then after that you stay another 3 or 4 hours and don't order anything else. People wouldn't do that in a restaurant. You just wouldn't. You would probably be kicked out anyway, but other than that, I feel people just know that's not the way you should behave in a restaurant, and I feel people would be embarrassed to do that in a restaurant, but for some reason it's acceptable in coffee shops. And people are saying, I've seen kind of discourse online in comments that coffee shops are community spaces and stuff like that, but I don't get that, because at the end of the day it's a business. A community space is like the library or the park. It's free to use for anyone in the community, regardless of who it is. You don't even have to be from the community. But a coffee shop is a business at the end of the day. Even though I socialize with my friends in restaurants, I wouldn't call that a community space at all. So I don't really understand that side of the argument. And I also saw a lady who was arguing, saying, oh, I can't stand these coffee shops that have no laptop policies, and especially the independents. I don't want to go to Costa and Starbucks. Too bad. At the end of the day, it's their business, their rules. And like I've stated before, the independents tend to have way smaller premises and way less seating, whereas Costa and Starbucks, they have more and they're not going to be as affected by something like this. So what does it matter if you desperately need somewhere to work, as you claim? What's the matter with doing it in Starbucks or Costa? I know I'm being really stubborn on this topic, but I can't stand entitlement. Entitlement is one of those things that just triggers me so bad. It really does. But I'm open to hearing other opinions, so please comment below. Are you part of the laptop mafia? Are you against them? Are you neutral? Have you had experiences or run-ins with any of these people? Are you a business that's been affected by this? I would love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps small channels like mine, and have a great day.